Canada studio and join with studio guests them. And one more time, I want to welcome Marcella Samba Sesay for new winner, the chairperson. Good morning, welcome to the program, Marcella.
Thank you so much, Ahmed.
Yes, we see on Saturday the High Court slam an injunction on the National Electoral Commission not for old Leone of we for them be tomorrow. But we see again we una civil society then come together and take a position on this. First of all, waiting on a position as civil society organization then on this issue.
Well, civil society leaders on Saturday we hold an extraordinary meeting, and irrespective of the fact say we've been disappointed and frustrated because this is not the nick of time where this unthinkable thing happen. But we say we resolve say the runoff election for gone and with the dialogue we went through.
The honor for go on how where the injunction be on any case for come up today this afternoon.
You know, one of the things that we need for understand and for make we reach to this stage, a lot of investments don't go into human capital and otherwise. And one of the things that we will need for put through the institutions of the states for which the courts, the judiciary, now one principal, in fact it's an arm of government for serve, then for serve the interest of the people. The situation at hand where a particular individual take this particular matter to court, this day out of the question because I mean the rule of law for be respected, the individual get rights for taking concern, but when it comes to the issue of elections and elections results, even the lay person was in a Supreme Court matter, then you don't even need for be lawyer for no than the basic. For example, this particular individual came to the courts as an individual. He not a critical interlocutor on the electioneering process. The critical stakeholders then are this process. Now, the one that will contest the elections, the political parties. For example, if Dr. Samuel Kamara come and say, I don't agree with the results. Brigadier Julius come and say, I don't agree with the results. Dr. Kane Yonkela, etc., I mean, we know all the one that we contesting, can say we don't agree with the results. You know, say, these are critical interlocutors. The political parties, the APC, the SLPP, NGC, and the like, C4C, CDP, whatever, they can say we don't agree with the results. This is a different matter. Now, you don't get nobody, the political leaders, the one that we, the candidates, then the presidential candidates that we contest, none of them no contest the outcome of these elections, which for we see them as vital. It's very good. They no say we not agree with the election.
To the outcome.
What if they contest now the process? Are you go contest the process? Are you go contest the process where you believe in the outcome?
But again, Marcella, this same person will carry this matter in a court. When you look at some of the things they will list and the arguments where they make now that if the NEC not try for correct some of the thing the way alleged say not happen the right way during the March 7 polls, if even then conduct the runoff again, the same issues then go continue for Camo.
Listen, me. The point is me not even they discuss the issue where this individual can go court. Me your point now the decision where the court take at this nick of time. Because the value of any court system now any country now for saturate the situation. Waiting make courts there na any country. The courts there for enforce the law and for do them in a fair and rational manner. They need for provide a forum for resolve. That's the bottom line, for resolve. If we get a judicial system where they add problem, then that judicial system will challenge.
That particular decision will be court
the decision challenge.
Right,
because so, at a point in time we get waiting we call na politics. We call them the greatest good for the greatest majority. In actual fact, na the utilitarian theory. What do you do so? Whose value add? Why we want to do this to Salone? And even in law, then call on the balance of convenience. In this matter, this judicial, you say the balance of convenience line. You put the one whole country, you put we at a standstill. Will you risk a whole nation for running into chaos as opposed to addressing a matter in a very rational
Some
manner?
other school of thought, they say this in Kenya, also you go observe election. You know, the Supreme Court asked for a rerun of the election. We go to Liberia, we see similar thing happen there for all Leone of the Supreme Court put injunction until they look into certain things them way some people begin to concern with. So why people they raise the issue as if the courts do bad?
You know, my greatest disappointment in these elections, also with the ordinary citizen, now with the so-called elites in the society, and the calculated ploy for misleading this country in the wrong direction. The situation in Kenya, a good way you say I've been did. The situation in Kenya was totally different. The situation in Liberia was totally different. In fact, when I came back to this country, I reported, I said a very good elections in Kenya spoiled. The purpose is, if we had a chance, because then they say the elections in Sierra Leone is not credible. It is not true. I challenged it a couple of weeks ago with data. I say we get them. It is not true. If the elections not credible, not to not to we they talk and say. Now the ordinary citizen they talk and for let you know say election not credible from the moment where you go to the polls. Not to even we they talk and this is an open process where the nation participated. Now then they can say, but that election is not come off final. Basically, what would the ordinary citizens saying? They're saying the elections is not credible, but nobody said that. Up to the point, and this is what happened in Kenya. In Kenya, they used a system, an electronic system for votes, which was the KIMS machine. And in the final analysis, they cannot calculate the scores. So one characteristic of a sham election, results not the conclusive. Results, not the common. You cannot add up to anything. And that happened in Kenya. And in a situation like that, waiting the courts do, the courts rule for a rerun of the election. And that's exactly the courts do, which is totally different. In Liberia, it's the same thing. The person who put the case in a court, he say, and this was a critical interlocutor, he was a candidate in the election. He said, let me do this election back. And we been there back in Liberia. The Liberia, we said, waiting. The Liberia election where we watch not to end this, where then they present to. I mean, a number of people them now you right for contest. Everybody gets a right to contest. It not mean say right to contest for a whole country at bay.
So, Marcella, you they say the issues them where this person can go na court, not elect they no happen at the March 7 polls.
Now, listen, this is not about nothing no happen at the March 7 polls. This particular election is the election na a run-off election. It's different from a rerun. It's not a run-off election. It means say by the constitution of this country, 2 candidates them, at least one person forgets the constitutional threshold of 55%. None of the candidates now reach that threshold. So the most the 2 candidates will reach near, therefore come back and can contest. Standing in a presidential runoff. 9 up in a Salone. Now, waiting this post wicked this case go court the same. This individual say he not like the process will lead to the outcome. He has no problem with the outcome. He said the process and the process, the outcome. For let the outcome good, the process get for good. That is the logic. Now you say you don't want the system where they use to calculate. The system where they use to calculate, it's so technical, which some of we person get for convince we. Waiting technical about the system because I went to vote even apart from a role as chairperson of National Elections Board. I went to vote as an ordinary citizen of Sierra Leone. I cast my votes manually. I see who side and count the votes manually. Then paste the results na the one manually. When I the National Election Watch collect data, will bring to the public.
They say the district office them no.
And they not do district tallying. What in they do now, regional tallying. Now, if for example,
with some people, if you say
let me
that they be against the Public Election Act.
Yes, I would guarantee if this makes sense for ask for district tallying because that's what the law says. And I raised it. National Elections Watch raised it a couple of months ago. We get a forum when we recommend in 2007, the political party liaison committee. That was not part of the elections arrangement. But some of the issues that we don't come up as civil society. One of the things that we understand is that pre-2007, the information was used as a tool for create an unlevel playing field. So this will get them in time, then they will get them in time. So one of the things that will happen, we say let the PPLC meeting come. And at the PPLC meeting, all political parties are represented, and at then they give information. So we are represented at the PPLC. When they talk about regional tally center, we say, why not this thing? The political parties say quickly agree. They say no, regional they want, and it's their process. Now they agree to a regional tally center.
So why one of them now they say a neck not go according to the law?
No, but now that is what I am saying. Then see all they agree on PPLC, and as far as me concerned, even after the presidential the first round elections at the PPLC meeting. Now, the political leaders, they go sit down back, they agree on campaign dates and everything. They are not in contest, they don't contest nothing but waiting happen for going to a runoff. So waiting the court do, me, I don't even want to cancel anything. Waiting the court do right now, it's unthinkable, it's unacceptable, and this country, it creates an international embarrassment for
the program. Continue for the program, Marcella, and we come now to lawyer Mohamed Pa Momoh Fofonah. Himself gets on side of the interim injunction where the court put on the March 27 on off. And you know one person where they call on Justice Abdurrahman Mansaise for lifter because of the political tension. Where you think say this particular interim injunction from Saturday to now don't cause now the country?
Yeah, first of all, when I permit me to say a big bravo to a proud Sierra Leonean woman who I don't see. Marcella, I mean, I'm really humbled by, first of all, your level of intelligence, your understanding of the issues. And in fact, I feel embarrassed that you were not a lawyer. You lay this thing so straightforwardly. I mean, for let people way, now ordinary people understand. We were not the lawyers, we seem for the cause them problems there. We really need for the rethink position. Like I rightly say no more, I mean, so many things wrong with this court order here. I mean, I get every respect for the judge, and as lawyers, we bow to their orders. But if order irregular, if you're not proper, you have to say it. This order is irregular in many ways. Firstly, the injunction not purely on the judge in your own volition. Where they say on the judge in your own volition, the people that will go the matter in a court, they not move the court say give injunction. They not move the court say give injunction. What happened was then go first on jurisdictional issue where neck raise. Neck lawyers and raise the jurisdiction say, Pa, you not get authority for hear this case because you're not to Supreme Court. According to the Constitution under section 45, 2A, now only Supreme Court now for hear all matters where they deal with election of presidents. Even if you add parliamentary labor, as long as president dey inside, and election, they just start with vote from registration, take on that process. So anything where they touch and concern election of president, now only the Supreme Court now for looking to them. So NEC raised that issue, then they also raised the issue of the manner in which, then lawyer approach the court. Then say they for come by petition, they don't for come by originating motion. So when they don't raise them, the judge in his wisdom is saying they go right in ruling on waiting and don't talk. Ruling is a form of judgment. He come back, he say he get jurisdiction, then other people they neck them wrong, in suppose for he get unlimited and supervisory jurisdiction, and the procedure where they use a right. He give himself that authority, the way me believe say under the constitution and not get. So now the neck lawyer them tell him say, okay, if you don't talk so, state this case to the Supreme Court, because under the Constitution section 124, anything where they arise, where they touch and concern the Constitution, if I refer them to the Supreme Court for let them deal with them. Now he say, okay, let them get on time, let them go then for formulate them questions, and they can't rule on that. When you go can direct them on how, they for go about for state this case. Now he give this injunction. Nobody no ask for him. And where he give the injunction, he say pending the hearing and determination of the court. Then the first of all, me no understand. Normally, when they give injunction, they say pending the hearing and determination of the application or the action. So which means now, anytime when the court infield, now go raise that injunction, although, of course, it's discretionary to them. But first of all, like how Marcella say, injunction until they play with, especially for elections. They just kind of more you grab, you say, when I stop an electoral process. Especially, and like I said, she's very intelligent on that, the parties to this action, not to the stakeholders. Not to APC or SLPP where they on the runoff, then bring this one.
For this person who carry this case to court, instead they argue say he as a senior citizen, he get rights for take matter in court, where if you say the right things then not happen, especially where it gets for with elections.
I'm actually not sure if in a senior citizen, but let's assume say in a citizen. Let's say in a citizen because he is. If he bring this action as a citizen, it deal within his rights. But as they say, when the courts then they deal with matters of this nature, the stakeholders, they're very important. I'm not talk say you don't get right for bring action. And like I say, if you don't have questions with the outcome, you question now with the process, then question they begin arise as to why they doubt the process if you don't get questions with the outcome. Simply put, I am saying if the court say in get jurisdiction, then get authority for going with the case, go on and listen that application they deal with them, forget about the injunction. Injunction not get nothing for do with whether neck for conduct forensic. Injunction is putting the entire process to a halt and thereby bringing the country to its knees. Not forget say not to we no more as ordinary Sierra Leoneans this thing they affect school picking them makituman then say then a daily wage hand to mouth. Where this election don't hang over them now, a lot of them can't even make ends meet. What about the people that will travel from out for come monitor this election? Then go just continue for there at their own expense. They wait for, till the kingdom come. What thing will happen to the president in mandate after Tuesday tomorrow? According to the constitution, after Tuesday tomorrow, we'll forget a new president. The constitution don't make any provision for let this president continue for be president over we. When you look at them sections, they already refer to where they say they amended in 2001 and so forth. Now, for president, we don't assume office. Now, make the thing they say election and assumption of office of a president. That means when I don't go through runoff, then don't elect that president there. But under Section 55(1) of the Public Elections Act, every citizen, like how this man come, get right for petition a president where they don't elect.
So, Pa Momoh, what happened with the 2001 amendments there? Because I see some other lawyer did quote Section 43 say like the president will get 4 months more for the in office.
We're not to this president that they talk about. This president, if you look at the constitution, is very clear in terms of just 5 years. The only time where they allow him for let the electoral process go on so that it will be able to hand over smoothly. But under that particular provision, that 43, when you look at them, what did they talk about now? Election and assumption of office of a president. Assumption of office means when I don't know with the election, they don't swear the man in, but you get problem with an election. So under Section 55(1) of the Public Elections Act 2010, it say anybody will get problem with the election of a president where they don't swear in, he can bring a petition against them within 7 days. So if that president they don't swear him in day now, then you bring that petition. The law say they go allow that president for 4 months. So that during that time, while the court they look into him, they can do another election. So not to the this man we don't do with him. This president, as far as we are concerned, if he say it will continue, I think it will be chaos. Because the constitution also make clear provision as to waiting for happen. Because when you look at the constitution, they say if the president or in vice, they know the speaker of parliament now for assume office for 90 days. But parliament don't prorogue. It means parliament not in session, then one and then don't go. So get a vacuum. The only rational way for resolve this, now forget the other 4th strong, leader in the country, when the Chief Justice, and he can be the right person because the judiciary independent. He go ahead an independent panel of people and we go come together, form an interim system, and then under that interim system, then continue with the runoff. But we have to go by law.
Let me look at from day one, even for when they announce the presidential election dates. we see plenty legal issues them to registration, to nomination, and now to even runoff. We get election, we get legal and constitutional issues. Then they, as lawyer, how you would describe the way how the constitutional matter or legal matters would evolve in the whole electoral process?
Of course, this now, in fact, it a test with democracy. Like how Marcella say, nothing will stop this man, this gentleman, from going to with matters to court. Even me or any other person. Now you're right. If I go test the court system, but we in the judicial system, we go to court procedures, we get forms, we get rules, and we get processes. If you count and the wrong way, then go to where and do. So if the court, the rule, this constitution where the guy we all don't say, where you get petition for president for can go na Supreme Court. If you can't go other court, then ban for to where. If the court insists a power play they go on, the Supreme Court gets supervisory jurisdiction. In other words, they overlook all other courts for say no, you not get right to not go on with this case. So then can come in. So the thing about going to court is really, really commendable because it is strengthening with democratic process. Hey, they should say we are law-abiding people. And as long as we believe in this law, we will not for allow one person for play with them. This constitution and the guide we forgo according to them. We believe law. We not for no say by now, all what we don't do, from we own perspective as lawyers are for uphold the constitution. We bring action, sometime back in 2006 to 7 against, Mr. Berra, we be on contest as president. We say enough supposed for be because if we resign first, enough for the using office and the contest. Thereafter, we bring action against the government for William Poole. Mr. Samsumana as vice president. These are all ways of strengthening our democracy. For sure, say, well, you don't put law if you believe in the law.
All right, continue for you. We'll come back to you in the studio. Mohamed Pa Momoh Fofonah, in a lawyer, as we continue with the program.
When they continue the program, we'll still get Marcella Samba Sesay when at the chairperson for new as they look at the effect of the interim injunction where the court's been put on the March 27 on-off election. I'll come back to you, Marcella. Would the case for Camo, this 12 today na court. As civil society organization, you don't go on your own party, don't talk about the effects of this interim injunction if we continue. What do they expect from the court?
I just talked this morning, say the court for be a forum for sanitized society. When you get an issue of dispute, the court for be the platform where for bring about sanity and not for be the platform where they raise the level of risk high. You see, the judiciary will get what we call part of the key stakeholders, they will be put now what we call a risk log for the elections. We know say issues emanating from the judiciary, coming out from the judiciary, now be high risk. Any decision are high risk. But for we, the judiciary are one of the stakeholders team. As opposed to, for example, the political parties or political players, we say at least they will be able to handle, despite the situation within they handle in a high risk, they will be able to handle it in a rational manner. But unfortunately, we're disappointed. It is not so. With expectation, we shall put with judiciary, we will not see that rationality they come to the fore. We want to tell them, say, we dey go court this morning, we say civil society, we dey go observe what's in there. The issue where then gets at hand on the table, it's not just a blanket legal issue. It is a political issue. Now a peace building issue. Now what we call a culture and community issue. Family, the way I mean was say it's a culture and community issue. You can hear where people can talk say just left them. Then one and then a bunch of unserious people. Where you want to categorize certain people. Just left them on a bunch. It's a cultural issue. Now we call political socialization. People will say we'll bring them this far, but Sierra Leoneans will disappoint us. That is the kind of issue we are playing with. What will they play with now? What we don't call international embarrassment in the elections atmosphere. We get a number. There we colleagues, they all can go na their country and sit and do things signed. They all deny. And they are calling us up to say, what are you doing, Sierra Leoneans? So now with the appeal, we bring and come, let's look at the issue. Nobody need to interfere with justice. It's their space, it is their, now their own atmosphere, dandy. But I'll tell you, Khadija, nobody not for use the paraphernalia of the law for keep Sierra Leone and suicide one. Somebody just abrogates powers when you don't get. The High Court not a sit on precedent issue. That is it. So now with the appeal, say let them do the needful. But it's supposed to happen till they let them do them. Because we have sensitive voter materials. 72 hours to election, you put an injunction, sensitive voter materials, the risk where we they run, where we do this, it high past anything.
So, Marcella, if the court do the needful way you they talk about, and law assume say they lift this injunction, where the case will come up at 12, you think say NEC will able for conduct the election we're supposed to be tomorrow? Because when you look at
trying to say now the National Electoral Commission will
but because they put statements outside and say from the notice so they receive from the court, they don't put everything on hold.
Yes, so me now from an elections observer perspective, and not even an elections observer, in this matter I'm an ordinary citizen and I get rights to speak, right? In a situation where I mean no waiting elections. Let me tell you, 90% of the recent conflicts in Africa in the sub-region are tied to the outcomes of elections. And as somebody who don't follow election at the sub-region, if me for give me humble advice in a situation like this, where the national electoral, because this is also psychological, you get for them in the right frame of mind for handle me, even all this while they do so, you get forget the temerity for handle elections in any country. If you not get that strength, you need to do them because you are dealing with a national activity where vested interest so high, and any mistake you make is a boomerang. So me go advise say if they don't take the psychological mind, let them make sure say we come out stronger in the runoff and let them not conduct an election with patchwork. Now that they no more me go see. If they can do it, they get for we, they get for promise we, and then get for showing
so
evidence. Say they get
in
for
that case, whatever the outcome of the court today,
the
possibility of the
this
runoff
one
tomorrow.
also is very clear. But if people they want for abrogate powers, we not to then get this one.
So
the election
tomorrow
will
election
not for continue.
they're off the table for tomorrow.
Pardon?
Even, according to what you explained, even if the courts decide otherwise or change their mind this afternoon, the election still not go tomorrow.
Well, then they not to me own for
Right.
say.
Well, I believe Momoh
Right, but me just the talk
Now,
say the Electoral Commission then get for the in a sane psychological, they can for be psychologically fit. Now make we cut talk about elections preparedness, and it's also a risk matrix. We dey assess how prepared are they to do this where they will get minimal or no error, because any error na problem.
Right. Well, Pa Momoh, now looking at this issue of dialogue, this don't come a public domain, the way how the discussion they carry on, if you say they put any pressure on the judge, Justice Mansari, on this particular matter, will compromise the independence of the court.
No, actually, it's not about putting pressure on this judge. I begin for talk say this order are irregular. When you say order irregular, that means although it come out from a judge, but the judge not follow waiting the procedure the way for follow. So the question is NEC bound to actually obey an irregular order? If you look at with laws in like I say procedures and they under the High Court rules, when I govern that particular court with that judge the seat, order 35 rule 9 1, rule 9 1 and 2. It make provision say before you grant injunction, he say na a precondition you must give an undertaking for damages. In other words, if you not give undertaking for damages, any injunction we grant is useless. There was no undertaking for damages. Even when you look at Ibrahim Sori Kuruma in affidavit, you not make that undertaking because none of them not even applied to the court for move this injunction. So the question is, if this injunction are not proper, is NEC bound to obey it? If also in the fear of, being in contempt of the court, then say full and full food the card and don't do now, say they know they go on, and that the period too short for conduct the election. What will happen to the state after tomorrow? Will the president continue to be president? Like I don't explain, say we, to the new president, we don't assume office. So you see now the dangerous things and this way they don't expose we to by just giving an injunction which was uncalled for.
Pa Momoh, from what you don't they explain, this judge not get the power for look at this particular matter and other colleague lawyer them get their own different interpretation. Everybody they get their own right up where they pull. And the judicial in one of the citizens and rely say them for interpret the law and tell them the right thing them where they inside the law. But as it is right now, everybody get your interpretation and everyone seem for confused about the law.
Well, now, so the beauty about the law is, I mean, every man get right to an opinion, but facts and law they're sacred. I mean, not just the car they tell now. Where I can the first way confront me with now this amendment where they make in 2001 say President Kuruma can continue for 4 months. Now I say, this now simple English, no allow any lawyer for confuse you. Read the thing. It said the election and assumption of office of a president or two join together. Where you don't elect him if you assume office for the other president to continue for 4 months. So it means that the new president they refer to. So all these things about lawyers trying to create confusion, I mean, in natural, then say get their own lawyer and then go on for propound their own interest. But Nadame could get the courts. The Supreme Court, the reason why they say now for looking to electoral matters of this nature or presidential nature, now because they're a much more serious court where they sit with 5 judges. That's the point. So now a high level constitutional court.
Alright, continue for the with you in the program. Lawyer Mohamed Pa Momoh Fofonah. And now they look at message them where una don't send na the program this morning.
This one said the APC is bent on bringing this nation into conflict. Businesses, schools, and everything is at a standstill yet. They don't even care about the masses. But time will tell. Peter operator on send this message.
This other one they say we can't mortgage accuracy and clarity for speed. The elections result process was wrong and questionable. The court order is in place. It comes from Abdullahi Forin and Lungi.
More messages we look at. This one say we are tired with this issue. All they are bent on is destroying the peace and stability of our nation. But whatever happens, we face karma. We are watching. The world is watching from your poll.
This one they say the lawyer should be diplomatic in the use of words. Words like chaos are totally unacceptable at this time.
Mrs. Marcella Samba Sesay, you get to be honest. The Kenyan issue not the same to that of Salone. On all foreign observers say the Kenyan election be free and fair and credible. Just after that, we already say the Kenyan court say the election not credible. Yusuf Kamnaya and police Kenya court. Why now we left this kind of thing?
This other one they say why Sierra Leoneans like to compare Sierra Leone problem to other countries when the situation are not the same. They come out from Sadao and Akono.
Please, we need peace in Sierra Leone as we are all brothers and sisters from Kaba, Cambia district.
This one they say we want this election for happen so that we go enjoy with democracy under new government.
More messages we look at inside the program. This one say
this other one they say stop making this issue fearful, allow the institution to function and do its work. This other one again, we don't come at the program, they say this injunction is frankly a disgrace and embarrassment to our judiciary. Hope sober-minded judges will reverse this decision.
This one say the man gets right for take next to court election not different in Africa. Election. The law gets right of this matter. We go prove we all see them neck testify them, then say 52 workers then sack them. But
this other one they say the injunction must hold to sanitize the whole neck and prevent electoral malpractice, and let's move on to a clean election. They come out from Farouk Umar.
More messages to look at. This one say I'm disappointed in both panelists for misleading the public and making insightful statements. The most important issue for both present and future generation in Sierra Leone is to ensure that the electoral process is made to remain free and corrupt, free of malpractices. You are attempting to oust the jurisdiction of the court. Can I send this message?
Alright, I will take this final message for now and we will come to studio guests and for them go comment on people and views they already don't send at the program. This one say, how will you say the election is credible when the total number of votes in terms of percentage is above 100%? Well, now that message they will come now, so we studio guest them, for them to comment on people and views them what they say at the program this morning. Marcella, we will start with the last message.
Okay, the credibility. I mean, we don't know with credibility of election, and election results, and how the process means. I think we don't pass it. Who's out there now? Now one of election, but for the purpose of still, they want we still see the election not credible. Now, no sign on they get 100. This is a national activity. You get 100%, all thing fine in this free society. You know, I am so happy that for once Sierra Leoneans and they gravitate towards integrity. I so like that. This is the real thing that we want to see in Sierra Leone, where we say integrity, integrity, integrity. In public office, integrity. In schools, integrity. In the public service, integrity. In the hospital, integrity. Exactly this now we want to see. But it's unfortunate that the very integrity what they call for, the Sierra Leoneans, they will not get her. Because the Sierra Leoneans then go into a process and they not come out with the integrity what we want them to come out with. I think what we need for no is that since we're not able to get 100% integrity where this nation they so desire for pull, where it was now a welcome move. Everybody wants a credible, free and transparent process. But we not get 100% now. What's it happen? The situation is so bad that we not get for use the elections. No. What's it happen at the election in no way, not that invalidates the outcome of the election. And then the nine we stand by. What do we see? No sufficient enough for say this election a sham. This election flawed. No, that was not the case. We see the election through, and that was not the case. The credibility, just a minute. The credibility what they talk about right now, it means say 221 stations were cancelled. We don't talk on the national elections what say, but they fall around 221 stations in there. And know exactly what thing make them 221 stations in the council. Waiting at the issue. And the National Electoral Commission, any National Electoral Commission in any country, if you want to let democracy survive, that institution they forget for be gold standard. Because now the entry point of democracy. If that institution they compromised, then democracy forget it. Because now the entry point for any political leader, it get for come in through the right means. It get for come in through clean elections. So now we get 84,000 Sierra Leoneans will take part on an ad hoc basis in the elections. 50 or so of that 84,000 and they then bring them to book. And when they even say, now look inside the process more. Of that 84,000 a day, we still get more Sierra Leoneans inside that 84,000 day. We don't fish out 50, which creates problems. Now we still get more, now bring them come out. Nobody will tell me, say, in a situation when 84,000 were employed, 50 people that misperform, yes, it will be good. The standard way Sierra Leoneans then they crave towards integrity and credibility should be good like all 84,000 perform well. But we know say Sierra Leoneans then 50 of them now they don't fish them out. For me say they not do well in the process. Now you want say because of 50, 84,000 or more people will do well. We not for comment them. No, I still stand saying the results of the elections credible, and at that make the political leaders they will contest. You know, we get for be sincere to this country. We all been in Khadija. And if they no say, then get data, now make them not contest the election. Because what the election for do now for bring data and say, no, this one they say, not to so it be, but they have not done that. So for now, we think say we still stand by the fact saying the elections is largely credible. And we can use that data.
84,000 when I add up, I just for a couple of days, then they employ
yes.
for and part of them these 58 or so.
Of course.
But you are concerned that even the executive secretary as senior person and also idea of police interest into similar matters.
Idea of police interest, let the police. I mean, we self-interested for let we see whose evidence they come out of harm. Because this now the National Election Electoral Commission now a citizens institution. If you dey serve, you go for serving the interest of the public. So let me see wetin the police dey investigate exactly right now and let them bring am to the public. That na one of the issue. There was another interesting issue where the person also
Kenya.
Yes, the issue of Kenya. I don't think I want to discuss Kenya election right now. We all see the outcome of the Kenya election. Even Raila Odinga, when I be a critical interlocutor, a critical stakeholder, where they say, okay, well, come back, no law contest, not contest again. I mean, the elections, let tell you, if the elections na Kenya, they get elections were fraudulent, not to after the elections after this year. During the day, there are certain benchmarks where they use for say, wetin happen? Did citizens have access to the polling station? Ballot paper reach certain area. If person want for fraud election, na that thing and they by waiting ballot paper no reach. Then thing and they happen no. The elections been peaceful right throughout the day. Now, when it got to issues of the result, we able for pick the results immediately after they come down. Beyond that point, if anything happen where we not been follow, we want to see, let people bring evidence as to they will see what it happen because we not there. They will see what it happen. Can you bring evidence after that point there? And some of the evidence then don't they come forward. And the evidence where don't they come forward, the National Electoral Commission don't they take action. So for that evidence they will come forward. You go say all way to do that 7th match they're not credible. So one of the things that when we want to encourage Sierra Leoneans, we need for no say the issue what they talk about now the run of elections, the judiciary of Sierra Leone, they don't put a court injunction. And one of the things where the judiciary get for no, the judiciary now an institution of accountability. It's not just this so. And we for hold them for account. A number of things then don't happen at this process. For come and slam an injunction, what's in the basis?
Marcella, continue for doing the program will come back to you. I'll bring you Pa Momoh Fofonah. Now, from explanation, it's clear from what you explain, say the court's not been getting right for sit on this matter na Supreme Court issue. As it is now, what you make for them?
Yeah, that na my view. I mean, own personal view say the court not been get jurisdiction, but the court say it gets, so that's a separate issue. Now, before I come to the next issue, the person raised chaos and incitement. He say we dey incite, we dey talk about chaos. First of all, na law we dey talk na. I mean, if President Nkrumah sit down so today, na law na make it sit down. And now we in 2007 from the PMDC now we been bring them in. So under law. So when we dey talk law, let people know say na only law na go save we rule of law. If law not dey na chaos. So basically what me they do as a lawyer now for let the people they know waiting at their rights and waiting from their wrong so that anybody not go interfere with them. I mean, like how Marcella they say, of course you can never have a perfect elections. And me know they talk say neck them then are saints. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that this guy, if he don't bring in complaint to the court can look into him for forensic audits, blah blah blah. But you don't need for injunct the entire country. For this one man way not to neither candidate for SLPP or APC. I mean, you are holding the entire country to ransom for a single fellow. I mean, your own complaints will make to the courts. If you look at the way how English courts and they grant an injunction on elections, it is so. In fact, they say it is really you can hardly invoke. I mean, the courts in jurisdiction. This balance of convenience we talk about, plenty other things, and the way the court they look at. I mean, you got to look at the seriousness of the case and so forth.
So according to law, Pa Momoh, what's in neck for do now?
Me believe say, as it is, I mean, the neck can get their own lawyers them. If them be done there in preparedness, the injunction not stop them say they're not for prepare. The injunction say they're not for conduct the elections. If I were one of their solicitors advising them, I would say still they in preparedness. But I understand saying that the police, according to them,
according to Neckland press release, the order where they say they get now that they for stop everything.
No, whether the same order will all they read, they say they stop them not for conduct the presidential runoff. I mean conduct the presidential runoff means let people go to the line and vote. It not mean say enough for move ballot papers. That I mean understanding. I mean I may be wrong, but I am saying that all of this now, like how we say, we embarrass ourselves in the eyes of the people that we don't come for camp, observe and assist with on this process. We really need for treat this process a bit more serious and no say law. Now in the government we all now we not there up and play. We not care for incite anybody. We they say if the process continue, the people can peacefully go back to the courts. If I understand, say some lawyers they can prepare papers now for go on this legitimacy issue, whether after tomorrow the president get right for continue.
Pa Momoh, you will explain about
interrupt that process is a very serious situation.
All right. Quickly, Marcella, we'll wrap up the program now. Una have been part of the civil society organization. Then we be done they come up talk on issues where we get for do with the March 7 polls. So I don't push until the country don't reach so now na the electionary process. If the process they get then kind of challenges there, as yes, so they don't feel disappointed.
So absolutely, now challenging electoral cycle, really challenging. And one of the things that we need for hold as a country, we need for understand say this country need for the Salone for win at the end of the day. We personal interest the way they put everybody turn analyst. All kind analysts, they analyze from who side and team up. An election are a national event. We the injunction on the elections, where we all write for votes. Now then two things I make call public policy interest. Now then two things and then now they put together. So when they ask them, say when they go to court and why are you from them? Let this country not be held to ransom. A number of things they don't come to a standstill. Let the election conduct. Yes, people get rights for question, they get rights for go court, all that in a part of the democracy. Let them go court. If any problem there, let them go court and let the court address them. But for put an injunction on the entire electoral process, we not think say it right, and we think say we call on all who are concerned, let them do waiting at the right thing and waiting at the needful thing for safety.
Thank you very much, Marcella. Quickly, Pa Momoh.
Yes, so just for wrap up, again, like I say, I don't look at the court order again. The court order say, in the stop neck, the restraint neck, from conducting the presidential runoff election, we scheduled for March 27, 2018. In other words, not waiting neck they do before March 27 is stop. You understand? Because I make it clear, it's a way scheduled for that date. Neck is still there in preparedness, now they do what they do. Now tomorrow activity now is stop. And I believe say by the end of today go remove them because it's just not helpful. And over and above that, for also end this issue, I appeal to people and let them remain calm and peaceful. Like how we say, we are lawyers, we believe in the rule of law. Mr. Magai, Charles Francis Magai, has understand it and prepare documents about this legitimacy aspect of the president continuing after tomorrow. Assuming we know Alelek postpone, or if next say they're not able, waiting will happen to the nation after tomorrow, waiting at the legal position. I me to explain my own bit, and I believe say the Honorable Chief Justice for the preparedness for head and interim government. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lawyer Mohamed Pa Momoh Fofonah and Chef Marcella Samba Sesay, Chairperson. Marcella Samba Sesay, Chairperson for new. So we on the program this morning. We're now the end the program. Good morning with Salone for today. Anytime, so we executive producer Michael Sambola, Alex Lawrence Goma, and all the Good Morning Salone team. We put the program together. Listen to the election 10 program at 12, 7 o'clock in the evening at 10 for national news at 9. We'll get to other current affairs program within the B. So to meet back when Khadija Bangura, they say have a nice day.